And it's more likely to spread in a pub. Daft that she is.
You're right there, son.
Oh, she's gone down in my estimation, I tell you. Free.
I love how I've got it on record now.
Oh, really?
Incriminating information.
Put that in and we'll let the people figure out who I'm talking about.
I'll have a guess. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Talk Scottish Football podcast number 27. We've made it here somehow, and it's glad. I'm glad to be back. I don't know about you, Dave. How are you feeling?
All right, mate. Yeah.
After a tough, a really gritty, horrid, dragging international break.
4 points top of the group. What are you talking about?
You may have enjoyed it.
I didn't enjoy it at all.
You're far more into the international football than me, but it's funny because we made umpteen plans. We're like, right, we're going to make a video talking about the game. It came to the next day, like, we're not talking about that garbage. Then we're like, we'll make a video talking about the next game. Never happened because of the garbage. It's just for you might watch more than me, but I'm just glad to have the club football.
Well, you were lucky. You were lucky to be in the pub and not have to watch the game. Actually, I was working, so I'd Sky Plused it and then watched it.
Was I lucky though? Was I lucky? Because I had the rugby.
I don't really watch rugby. I'm honest. It was that bad. So the Israel game, I don't think Scotland had a chance apart from the goal, which was a penalty. So tells you all you need to know. 3-5-2, man. I'm not sure. It's not even 3-5-2. Like, it's wild. It's like 3-4-2-1. It's just so strange.
Typical Scotlander.
Like, I get that you have to maybe play. Like, you finally get a position where you've got Tierney and Robertson in natural positions for them, but then you start playing other players out of position to accommodate that. It just seems bizarre. Scott McTominay is not a centre half. Let's just get that out of the way. He's just not, especially not with James Forrest as a wing back, because Forrest isn't a wing back.
Yep.
John McGinn's not like a right.
What I hope is
right of a front three. It was just bizarre.
What I hope is the wing back performances for Forrest in a Scotland jersey opens the eyes of those who want Forrest to be the natural wing back of Celtic. That to me says everything.
Yeah, I mean, there were one thing I will say is the Czech Republic game. One of the very few positives to come out of it was Liam Palmer was very good. And if you're going to play McTominay at centre half, you need to have a defender in front of him to protect him, because he's not got defensive instincts. Like he's not thinking about where strikers are moving when we've got the ball. He's thinking about how he can get the ball and make things happen from the back. So, yeah, it's just bizarre. We'll do a video before the playoff talking about like our preferred teams and stuff, but I'm not sure that 3-5-2. I mean, Tierney was very good against Israel. He was probably the best player on the night. But it was just, we didn't create anything across the two games, really. There wasn't an awful lot happening going forward, which, even when we didn't have the last few games before this break, Scotland was scoring goals, McGinn was scoring, we were creating chances. There was none of that this time. But it wasn't for Lyndon Dykes' efforts, to tell you. He was probably the bright spark of the whole two games. We've not been on the Lyndon Dykes hype train up to this point. But I was very impressed with what I saw from the two games.
Look, there's more chance of me going sober than there is of Scotland playing creative, nice, entertaining football.
Well, we should be able to with the players we've got.
We should. But as I said, there's more chance of me going sober. It's not going to happen. But you know what? We move on. We've got bigger games to worry about. I guess the one positive is, yes, we might have been absolutely rotten, but England weren't much better. So
no, they weren't much better.
They were not much better. So that's a positive to draw underneath.
Southgate is no longer the one, allegedly.
Aye, no longer.
The waistcoat's lost its magic.
Yep, I mean, was it ever magic? Yeah, they got to a World Cup semi-final, of course. Basically won it. But aye, Scottish football. Let's talk about the Scottish football. A week in which really annoys me. We're coming back into the league football. We're meant to have this big deal with Sky Sports. And what happens? What happens? Not one game televised.
Not one.
Because how? Because the Premier League's back. Martin Tyler. Oh.
And see, when we've got like games normally, when we've got fans in gardens, every fan wants a 3 o'clock kickoff. They just all do. You love a 3 o'clock kickoff. We don't get them that often when we're in the ground. Now there's no fans. Every game's 3 o'clock, which is just interesting. But yeah, I mean, I'm looking forward to it. I think we'll be streaming again, so that'll be good to get back into.
Look, I never like to come across as a bitter Scotsman who just can't stand English football whatsoever, because I can't sit here and pretend I don't watch the Premier League. I like the Premier League. I'm a man who keeps himself in the know when it comes to the game down south. But when you see our game just get strangled, it just makes you fall out of support for the league down south. I don't know why this decision's been taken. Well, I do see, because they want to, showcase as much as possible. But they bought the rights off of BT and off everybody else to apparently display it to everyone. And then the minute the Premier League's back, we don't matter anymore. It's annoying. But you know what? For a kick-offs, it's a shame I'm on the stadium for it. Talking about the stadium, we've touched on Sky. Before we get into the games, let's talk about all the minor things. There will be fans in grounds this weekend. We have got the test event set up. There's going to be 300 fans at both the Ross County Celtic game and what's the other game again?
Aberdeen and Kelly.
Aberdeen Kelly, I thought it was. Aberdeen and Kelly and Ross County Celtic. There will be 300. I mean, you summed it up perfectly before we came on the stream. What's your thoughts?
Well, we're just like, no. Why would you want to go? You've got to sit still, not sing, not shout, not do nothing. You've got to sit there like
typical Saturday East End Park game.
No.
I don't know
but no, listen, it just sounds like it doesn't sound fun at all. Like, I'm desperate to get back to a ground, but I don't think I could be arsed going to sit amongst 300 people at Pittodrie to watch that and having to just sit still the whole time.
Imagine like the draw for however they work out. I'm picturing the wee Claudio Ranieri looking like pulling the names at the hat to see who's going to be at the stadium.
I'm looking forward to a Dingwall on Saturday. We're like number 299, Paul the Staggy.
But like, imagine you just got surrounded by 299 utter wankers.
Oh dear.
Like, that would be a
disaster. But legitimately, Paul the Tim will be at that game on Saturday.
Oh, he will be, aye. No doubt about it. And I respect that. Well done, Paul.
You got to respect the hustle.
Aye. Big as the trolley man himself. It's good. It's a step forward. I suppose it is pretty dreich. The rules, the whole situation surrounding it, it's not ideal. But it's a step in the right direction, despite the country seeming to be going back a step.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, like the pubs will be shut by this time next week, but yeah, we're allowed in the grounds. God knows where it's going, but I just want to be in the ground for when Celtic inevitably lift 10 in a row.
The thing is, though, like, I don't know. It's not like I don't know what it won't add into the players because there'll be no atmosphere. So I just don't get. I do get it. The whole point of this weekend is to test in terms of logistics. I get all that, but in terms of being one of the 300, it's not that appealing to me. Especially if the weather's rubbish and you've got a wind up at Aberdeen. It's not really fun.
No, it will not be. I mean, you've not got the body heat surrounding you either, you know.
Yeah, I know.
I like it when you get the huddle going, you know.
Aye, yeah,
nice and warm.
But yeah, before we come on to those games, we got a two transfer news things.
I've got the bigger transfer news story.
Oh, have you?
Aye.
Hit me.
What's the rumours on you coming back down to Glasgow, son?
Let me try and put this in transfer talk phase. Personal terms have been agreed, but there's some storm between me finding somewhere to live. So yeah, soon, very soon. But we'll be back in lockdown by the time I get back to the
There's a bit of confusion in the agent fee.
Yeah, the agent fees causing some difficulties. Speaking of agents that are, demanding fees, I mean, Ollie Burke's agent, dearie me.
Is this the transfer news you wanted to talk about before we
I wanted to start with Aaron Hickey, but the agent thing's got... Well, we'll start with Aaron Hickey, actually. I mean, that's the big one. I find that I absolutely love it that he's gone over to Bayern Munich, looked at the training ground, met everyone, and gone, you know what? No, this isn't for me. Like, that takes balls. Imagine being like, Bayern Munich, the European champions. Nah, I'm not going to play in Italy. Like, I respect that, because they've obviously said to him he's going to have a chance of playing straight away. So, yeah, big respect. I like this. Because he could have easily gone to Bayern Munich, going through the youth system. It would have been great, but he obviously wants to play football.
Yeah, because if he went to Bayern Munich, realistically, with the way Alphonso Davies is playing over there, he's never going to get into that Bayern side unless he pulls off the spectacular, which is going to be solid. So moving there, realistically, in terms of how much football you're going to play, he's probably made the smart choice. For me, I'm disappointed Celtic never finally made a move, and tried to push it. I would have loved to have seen him come to Parkhead, but I move over to Bologna. Look, it's interesting. He's following the footsteps of Liam Henderson, who's set the trend for Scotsmen in Italy. And hopefully he picks up and does well, and hopefully someone who can add more depth to our left-back scenario in the national team.
The thing best about Hickey is he can play right back as well. He's done it for Hearts. But they've obviously said to him he's going to get minutes. So we often trash footballers for not picking game time over money and all the rest of it. And he's literally going, I want to play football. So he's doing that. Fair play to him. He said this week he would love to play against Ronaldo. That'd be great if that happened for him.
Just watch him get absolutely tore apart.
Yeah, do you see Ronaldo's goals at the weekend? Oof.
Oh my goodness, God almighty.
What
a player. The goat.
But yeah, listen, good move. I don't think that Hearts will be delighted with they probably wanted more money for him, but listen, there was no point in him staying in the Scottish Championship for another year. Exciting for him. So yeah, another young Scottish lad on the move. And obviously we've seen recently the Ryan Gould's done quite well than this last season at Portugal after being the forgotten man. So it is brave to go abroad, but if it works, it tends to work quite well.
And the other young Scotsman on the move, young Oliver Buck, you have been... if there was any way for me to show the messages on screen that you sent me without incriminating you, I'm joking, but if there was any way for me to put the messages on screen that you sent me this morning, oh man, you're not a fan of Ollie, are you?
He's just the worst player to wear a Scotland shirt by a country mile.
Come on!
He's dreadful.
Have you seen Chris Iwelumo? Craig Mackail-Smith.
Craig Mackail-Smith, did he not score a couple of goals for Scotland?
Barry Ferguson.
No, listen, Ollie Burke, right? I said it last time, right? Before I ranted about how bad he is, I talked about how physically he's got exactly what you want. If you can make him become a good technical footballer, I mean, you've got such a prospect in your hands. But Ollie Burke does this thing, and see when he came on for the last 10-15 against Israel, he does this thing. He loves to do it, right? Where he stands in between the two centre halves and shouts the ball because he knows fine well he can't get it. Then you give it to him, and he's got a touch like a snooker table cushion. It's ridiculous. The ball just doesn't stick with him.
Well, I know he's
no intelligence in terms of when to run, when to come to feet. He's just hopeless. And if Chris Wilder can make him a footballer, he deserves every Manager of the Year award going because he's not a very good footballer.
If Chris Wilder can make Billy Sharp a Premier League goal scorer,
Billy Sharp is 10 times the footballer Ollie Burke is.
He's not he wasn't in my eyes a Premier League player, and then he started scoring goals. Look, if he can do it with McBurney, he can do it with Buck.
But McBurney scored plenty of goals and had a really good record before going to Sheffield United.
McBurney. Buck was rightly given a move.
When has Ollie Burke ever had a consistent spell? When's he had a consistent spell of good form in his career?
Right.
Ever.
How did he earn himself?
How many chances do you need?
But there's a reason he became Scotland's most expensive player of all time, shipped off to RB Leipzig.
That's why we've said it. If you can train him into a good footballer, he'll be amazing.
It's just not worked for him. The confidence hasn't been there. Look, we've seen glimpses of it. He was utterly hopeless, right? It was terrible for the vast majority of his time at Celtic. But that brief spell between Brendan Rodgers signing Ollie Buck and Brendan Rodgers abandoning the club. In that brief spell, I'm telling you, and I don't care what anybody says, Ollie Buck was actually quite decent and I enjoyed watching him. It was the minute Brendan Rodgers left, it just seemed like it went tits up. It just didn't work for Buck. And now he's found himself in a situation since he's left Leipzig that he's not been comfortable, he's not been confident, and he's not the player he is. There's a reason. Yes, it has been pissed, right? But there's a reason he keeps getting called up for Scotland.
Which is, you tell me, that's what annoyed me even more, right? We're talking about the lack of strikers. You tell me there's not one Scottish person that's better. Ollie Buck is the second best Scottish striker. Seriously.
I'm trying to play devil's advocate, Davidson.
I don't think Eamon Brophy is an international footballer, but Eamon Brophy is a better player than Oliver Burke.
Look, I think this is a perfect move for Buck. I think he'll fit in well at Sheffield United. Look, I know you're trembling your lip, right?
I don't. Well, actually, the one thing I will say is he's got the. If you're going to play counter-attacking football and you're wanting to play two, awkward centre forwards, then yeah, he might do something. But he's just. I just hate watching him. I just
really annoying.
That 15 minutes on Friday, the ball goes up to him and he just can't control the football. And he just can't do it. And he's constantly offside. He's giving away fouls. What does he do?
You know what I hate? You just said you hate watching him, right? Do you know what I hate? I hate that I've spent the vast majority of the last 3 minutes trying to defend them.
I know, I just don't know what you're playing at.
Purely for entertainment value, but look, you can't deny, as rotten as he's been, the final point is this, you can't deny there's no hope for this guy. You can't. There's a player inside him somewhere. He's just got to develop. He's just got to learn. He's got to...
What age is he now?
He's at 22, 23, surely.
Yeah, I'm not
Long
having
way
it.
to go, mate.
I'm
Long
not
way
having it.
to go.
Not
Look,
having it.
we'll put Ollie Butt behind us before you end up having an emotional breakdown behind the camera there. And we'll move on to what matters. The Scottish Premiership is back this weekend. Before we move on to it, can I very quickly just add, your questions will be fired in at the end. For those who have been in touch on the socials, Instagram, Twitter, the questions they've set us are just Twitter today.
Yeah.
Well, do you know what? Your pants at your job.
I've been working, mate, so,
Nah, mate.
Well, you've been sitting in your arse eating porridge, I've been working.
Whoa. I made a video this morning. I made 2 videos this morning. Look at me. Anyway, right, Scottish Premiership, right. What am I going to start? Because we've got 6 games to talk about. Very juicy. We don't want to be here all day. So do you know what? We'll start with one of the ones that are less to talk about first. And I'm going to kick us off with a wee bit of Livingston versus Hamilton Academical. I feel like that's a good place to start. And look, it's simple as this. Both teams have been rotten. They've finally picked up wins. Both teams have got a wee bit of momentum behind them. Hamilton with a big win over Motherwell a couple of weeks ago. Livingston got their win over Ross County in the last match day. Both teams are really, really showing me that this is going to be a dead rubber.
We might see Anthony Stokes, though, so there's something.
Might see Stokes,
yeah, Livy have been hopeless, but that win against County last time out will give them a bit of confidence. I would fancy Livy to win this, especially at home. But again, we said it about Hamilton going to Motherwell. We didn't expect Hamilton to get enough Motherwell and they went and get 3 points. So
the story of Livingston's season last year was more of the start. The start of the season was their best. They started the first 6 months brilliantly, but what they used to their advantage incredibly was that surface, was the home stadium. And they've not really done it this year. Yes, they picked well. Actually, they drew the Rangers and they managed to pick up the win against Ross County. So perhaps they're finally finding their feet. They need to continue that on here. Gary Holt, the bus driver, needs to rally the troops. Get Stokesy on. I guarantee you Stokesy will be their player of the year this year.
Wow.
Yep. Anthony Stokesy will be their player of the year this year. Who's going to top him? I like Marvin Bartley. Good player. I mean, who else around that team? McCrory, solid keeper at times. I don't know. Who do you see anybody in that team top man? Anthony Stokes is a Premiership winner. A Premiership winner. A Scottish
Scott
Cup
Robinson,
winner.
Craig Sibbald, I don't know.
Craig Sibbald or Sibbald.
John Guthrie will probably be their player of the year again, if I think.
I'm telling you, it's going to be Stokesy, son.
Nah, I don't think he'll score enough goals for their player of the year.
We'll soon see.
We will see. But yeah, listen, it'll be a Livy win this weekend, I think.
Aye, I must agree with you. I think Livy will take it. 3 points, simple as that. There's the first game done and dusted. David, would you like to select the second, my son?
St Mirren, Hibernian.
Well, that's an interesting one. Actually, I'm looking forward to this game. I mean, I won't be watching because Celtic are, of course, a 3 o'clock kickoff. But I'm excited for this because
Kevin Nisbet should be back, which is good news.
You're excited. A big hat trick a few weeks ago, and he's kind of sat on the sidelines since.
Well, he's been injured, hasn't he? Just sat on the sidelines. Yeah. I've been interested in the game. St Mirren were hopeless last time out. Hopeless against St Johnstone. At home, Jim Good will have a rocket up them. They'll be looking to bounce back.
It's a similar story on the other side, of course. Hibs need to bounce back after what they will see as a disappointing loss to Aberdeen. Now, of course, we may talk about how Aberdeen have really started to get things together and are a solid side and really shown themselves out for that 3rd place. But Hibs were up the top end of the still are up the top end of the table, but we're up at the top of the table on points.
Head of use lot.
Is that try to be funny? Aye. Try to be funny.
Put some respect to the high bees.
Aye, but you know what I mean? They were on points. They were on par with Rangers. Then a disappointing loss to Aberdeen at home as well. They will want to pick back up, and they should with Nisbet back. No, I mean they were at home and they're
sorry, apologies.
Aye, okay. So what's you're correcting, son? But they'll be wanting to pick that up. They'll be wanting to get 3 points. St Mirren, no pushovers, of course.
Yeah, and two sides who try to play football the right way. St Mirren have played some really nice stuff this season. They started really well the first few weeks, petered off a little bit. I don't know. I'm looking forward to seeing how Hibs do. I mean, yeah, bouncing back will be key. Nisbet coming back in with George will be. We said if we can get those two up front, any defence is going to struggle. I still think questionably. The defensive record is actually quite good so far this season, but I still think that defensively they're a bit suspect. I don't think. I mean, Ryan Porteous is a decent defender. He's a bit rash for me. I think there's a mistake in there.
It's still young, isn't he?
Yeah, I mean, and obviously we've talked about Martin Boyle plenty, so I think Hibs will win this. I mean, there is a question from one of the Twitter questions about the 3rd place battle, and we'll come to that, but they're still absolutely in with a shout at that 3rd place spot coming into the season, and I think they will I think they'll win again this weekend, so, yeah.
Aye, well, look, Hibs have been electric. They have been at times. They've played some really nice stuff, and I'm a big fan of Jack Ross. Jim Goodwin, I think the story of the game is frustrate them. I think when Hibs are frustrated, they look a bit lifeless. Isn't the word? They just kind of run out of ideas. I feel like they struggle to get that chance finally done in the final. And in the final third, they're just not the same.
Stevie Malin being back helps them though.
Stevie Malin does help, but you've seen them against that. Like you've seen them when they're pushed and when people don't make it easy for them, the goals just don't come. And maybe that's just because Nisbet's been out the last couple of weeks, but we'll see. St Mirren, I'm excited to see again.
Just incidentally on the St Mirren and Hamilton thing, I forgot to mention this with Hamilton. Jack Anick, positive test coronavirus.
Is he positive?
Yeah. Well, he's. I don't know if he's got a positive test, but he's missing the next 3 games.
Next 3?
3 games, yeah.
Oh my goodness!
And also, he lives with Lee Hodgson, who plays for Hamilton.
I seen that
Lee
Lee
Hodgson will also be isolated.
So look, the thing is about Jack Anick.
The season so far for St Mirren.
Yeah, he's been arguably the most impressive keeper in the league so far.
Yeah,
he's up there anyway. He's been absolutely sensational. So that's going to be huge for a good win in St Mirren. I never knew that. I knew about Hodgson. Did not know about him. I
think the Hodgson news broke before the Jack Anick news did, but this has kind of explained the Hodgson stuff. So both of them missing. Lee Hodgson as well, a big player for Hamilton. So 2 big players missing.
Right enough.
A tough one because you don't want.
Madness.
We kind of wanted some quiet news on the front of coronavirus in Scottish football. I don't think there's any evidence as of yet in terms of like wrongdoing on either of their parts to, So I think we'll be okay, but yeah, not good news for those two.
No, it's not at all. Well, we'll move on to more positive news, and that is another league game. So what one you want to go for, Dave? I'll pick the next one. You pick this one.
Okay. Let's think about this. Aberdeen Kelly. Let's hit Aberdeen Kelly.
Aberdeen Kelly, interesting. Another game with the fans in the stadium. As we've
How good were Kelly, by the way? How good were Kelly against United?
Goodness. Look, absolute robbery. The fact that Rory McKenzie did not win goal of the month. I hate this whole system, and it was the same for the team. Man. I hate the system for the team of the year, or the goal of the year, and blah blah blah. I hate it. Fans should not be allowed to vote because Celtic and Rangers are just going to win everything. And I know it's only a goal in a month. I'm sure Rory McKenzie isn't going to lose sleep about it.
It's not even that. It's, I think, in terms of the PR for the SPFL, how embarrassing it is. Yeah, it's absolutely embarrassing for the SPFL. And the SPFL are an embarrassment at the best of times.
That's a goal that deserves to be shared worldwide.
Absolutely. We should be doing everything in our power as like a league and as a country to be going, look at the quality of football up here. Look at this, out with Celtic and Rangers. Rather than this, here's a bog standard free kick scored by a Rangers player.
Yeah.
I mean, that doesn't do anything to heighten the profile of our game.
I'm telling you, we'd be better running that SPFL than them.
Telling you, man. They still don't have a sponsor either, which is a joke.
Aye.
It's just the whole thing's a shambles.
It's a shambles from head to toe. We've always seen that. That's a podcast in itself. But Kilmarnock will look to carry that on. However, Aberdeen, ultimately, their spirits are just high as anything now. They're loving it. They're big.
They've also got good players in good form. Ryan Hedges, Scott Wright have been really good. Lewis Ferguson looks amazing. He just keeps getting better and better. A really tough game because I think if Kelly set up the same way they did last week, that sort of front four, Kilty, Burke, Brophy and Kabamba, with the 2 in the middle, I mean, they're going to cause loads of teams problems. A really interesting game. I mean, I was hoping to watch that this weekend, but I may end up watching the Rangers game. We haven't figured this out yet.
I'm telling you, you're in disguise.
Well, someone's got to do. We can't have you bumming up Celtic the whole time. It's got to be done. That's why I try to get Dev on as much as possible. It's a really tough one to predict. I would fancy Aberdeen just because they're at home, but I wouldn't. I wouldn't be one for putting on the coupon because I think Kelly could go up there and get something. It'll be an interesting.
No, definitely
if Aberdeen are to continue this form, they will really put a marker down for that third place spot.
As much as this break has been a benefit to Celtic, and it's probably been a benefit to some other teams as well to allow, you see Hibs getting this bit back now. They didn't miss more games without him. Didn't have more games without him, sorry. For a team like Aberdeen, I think it might have been a bit of a pain.
Probably came at the wrong time for them.
Yeah, it came at the wrong time because they just started gathering all that momentum and now they've got to go right back and get it.
Yeah.
Which could prove a struggle for McInnes. Because we've seen it in the past. Aberdeen went through good bits of form. Something happens, whether it be a bad result, whether it be a break, whether it be an injury, whatever. And then that's where the inconsistency strikes. So it'll be interesting. I do fancy Aberdeen to take the points. But as you said, don't count out Alex Dyer's men. They could go up there and take them to task.
Yeah, I'll go for a 1 each.
You going for a 1-1?
Yeah.
Good. Nah, Aberdeen are going to win it. 6-0.
6-0.
Say, joking.
Right, it's the off-the-ball derby this weekend, Motherwell St Johnstone, so that'll be an interesting one. Well,
that's
I'm not really
Tam
not sure that interesting.
I'm going to go on his side for this.
You think so? I don't know. I
don't know. Motherwell have got to. You've got this game for Stephen Robinson and Motherwell is almost like the first game of the season all over again. They need to put everything behind them. They've got to start fresh from here.
Is it? Here's one for you. Is it a must-win for Stephen Robinson?
I don't know if it's quite that point yet. For Stephen Robinson,
they're only on 2 points, man. If this will be 7 games after the weekend. If they're still on 2 points, I don't know, man. It's not looking great, is it?
It is. Look, everything that Stephen Robinson has done for that club, everything that he's developed and brought together in the last 3-4 years as manager, couldn't be done by anyone else. It wouldn't have happened. Stephen Robinson has ultimately started his own kind of mini legacy at Motherwell. For him, this game, if he loses, it will pile on pressure. I don't think it's must win though. I think you're not going to. I don't think if they lose this game at the weekend, the Robinson sack rumours are going to begin. I don't think it's quite that point yet.
He deserves time, absolutely.
Oh, he does. Look, I've always been an advocate in football that managers deserve more time than what they get. And some people may say, well, he's been there 3-4 years. Yes, and how successful has he been in those 3-4 years? Brilliant. Yeah. So I don't see why the rumours should begin. But in terms of team confidence, team morale, just ultimately everything in the camp, they need to win. They need to get win.
They absolutely need to. If you have
a situation Robinson,
if Hamilton go win at Levy though, if Hamilton win at Levy and then go, there'll be 4 points clear of Motherwell. I mean, going to be.
You don't want this to turn into, as Motherwell fans, you don't want this to turn into the season like Hearts last year, do you?
Yeah.
Mind we sat there every week, no, Hearts will pull it back, Hearts will pull it back, Hearts will do it, never did. Now where are they? They're in the Championship. That is very plausible for any other team. We've seen it happen once, it can happen again. So Motherwell aren't exactly safe if they don't pick it up soon. So that's why it's important for the team to get a result. As I say, I don't think Robinson's job depends on it, but the team depend on it.
Yeah, I mean, absolutely. For team morale, especially after losing your best player, and they're aware of the fact that none of that money is going to get invested back in the playing squad. It's going to other things. So, tough one. Liam Polworth are kind of filling with the Turnbull role. He did well last season, but this is what they need to get back to that though, because they played the majority of last season without David Turnbull. They finished third without him, so they've got the ability.
Turnbull must have played about an hour all in last year.
Yeah, maybe. So they have the ability in that squad. They just need to make it count. And will they win this weekend? Yeah, I think they probably will.
I think they will.
Johnson, though, I wouldn't count them out. They've got a wee bit of something. Good win against St.
It seems like the story of this episode seems to be, they'll win, but don't count them out. Don't count the opposition out.
I love that though. It's mad how unpredictable this league is this year.
Yeah.
From really third down the way, any combination of teams, there's going to be opportunity for slip ups and stuff. And even I think there's only one game this weekend where I'd be totally confident they'll win. I think Celtic will beat Ross County comfortably. I wouldn't count out Dundee United getting something at Ibrox. I don't think they will, but it's not in an inconceivable world. Shankland might be back. It's not inconceivable they could. But then I suppose even for Ross County, maybe it's not inconceivable they could win. So there's so many room for slips ups and points being exchanged and stuff. So
look at the smile of false hope you have dawned upon my face.
Terrible. We had this for Kelly as well when they went there, and then Rangers battered them for 90 minutes.
Nice transition though. Nice transition. Rangers Dundee United at Ibrox. I just hope that the international breaks affect the Rangers as much as breaks do in the past. I doubt it though. I don't think it will happen. Rangers are far too good at the moment. They're scoring, they're defending well.
Right.
I mean, John McLaughlin is literally a scarecrow between the goals.
Yeah, he's not to do a single thing.
Not to do that. And you know what? Actually, I'm going to bring up a point that really annoyed me. Right, the amount of Rangers fans that were complaining over the international break that McLaughlin was not getting started over Marshall is just to give it a rest. What's he done?
I thought he deserved a chance.
But people are I'm fine with getting a chance.
Forever, though. We need to get to a stage where transition.
Can I make myself very clear before I Rangers fans say, look, I'm not bothered with McLaughlin getting a start or playing or whatever. I'd be fine with it. McLaughlin is a solid keeper. I've said that since he was at Hearts. Hearts good, Sunderland solid, Rangers now. He's not conceded a goal yet. Fair enough. Right, but people are genuinely on Twitter acting as if Steve Clarke is goneless and lost the plot because he's starting Marshall over McLaughlin. McLaughlin stood and done nothing.
Clarke anyway, though.
Aye, I know. And there was just one tweet in particular that set me on the edge.
Yeah, I thought they could have done with a chance. Marshall was very good, though, so that kind of...
Yep.
Probably...
But, look, no, back on what we were saying, look, Rangers are too good just now. Dundee United are going to go up there and get down there, should I say, and get absolutely scalped. Absolutely scalped. Look, if they're getting scalped at Rugby Park after Kilmarnock, God help them against Rangers. And I think Mickey Mellon, the world of him. You know, I like him. I've been very appreciative of how his team have been playing. I think
just some breaking news there. Actually, you talking about Mickey Mellon. He just had his press conference this afternoon. Lawrence Shankland is fit and available for this weekend's trip to Ibrox.
Oh, could this be his big arrival in the Premiership, son? David, what are you thinking?
you want me to tell you Shankland's going to score 3?
Come on, go on, tell me.
I completely agree with what you say. Rangers have been amazing. Yeah, I can't really see them not winning, but. You know, if United can frustrate them for long enough, I think they've got enough on the counter-attack to cause them some issues. I think, here's a bold claim, John McLaughlin will have some saves to make this weekend. There's my bold claim. Oh,
bold claim, eh?
Yeah, it's becoming that, isn't it?
My bold claims are Scott Brown Player of the Year and yours is that a keeper will make a save. You play it safe, Davidson, you play it safe.
Absolutely.
Right, so we've only got, what, is it 2 more games, 1 more game?
One more game.
One more game, eh? The king, the daddy of them all. Ross County against Celtic. Of course, Celtic, as the man who's wearing the Celtic training gear just now, I'll bluntly tell you, look, it's a chance to kind of freshen things up.
3-5-2. It's got to be in it.
You might calm down there.
It's got to be. It's got to be.
It's got to be. Aye. My match preview's out tonight, 6 o'clock on the 118 channel. But I mean, if Lennon doesn't start the 3-5-2. There's something in that snus. There's got to be.
Mate, no, it's not going to.
No, Edouard's fit.
Edouard's fit. So
Edouard's fit. He scored 2 goals in international break. Kamala's fit. He scored in international break.
90 minutes both games as well, for someone who wasn't fit, apparently. And yet he's fit too. So, it's going to be a 3-5-2. That's simply do you think
said.
It'll be Edouard and Ayeti?
Yes, I do think so.
Okay. I think it'll be Edouard and El Younousi.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow, I will have Celtic fans calling for El Younousi to be dropped.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not saying that's what I would do. I'm just thinking that's what it probably will be, I think.
No, I think we'll get Edouard and Ayeti. If not, Edouard and Kamala.
Yeah, either or. I mean, it would be a great thing. We've talked about it. These are going to be these types of games where Celtic are, the Ross County will be digging in behind the ball, try to make it there's no space for Celtic to play. You get 2 strikers who can stretch the game. You'll create space for your more creative players behind. It'll make it a lot easier. They've looked so much better in the games recently where they've changed to 3-5-2 towards the end. Chances created galore. It's got to be done for Celtic to kickstart their season, I think. Look,
it's a big game because it kickstarts a very busy 2 weeks. Celtic's fixture list is congested. We all know it. We've got 2 games to play over everybody else. We've got European games to play. We're going to have a Scottish Cup games to play. It's not going to be easy. So rotation is key. Scoring goals and getting the game done early is key. Look, if Celtic can be up 2-3 goals, 2 or 3-0 up by say 60 minutes into the game, you don't need to be on 5th gear. Going into the last half hour, you can take it down, just control the game. You dictate the pace. That's what we need to do. So with this 3-5-2 system, I expect us to go out with the intention to get the job done as quickly and early as possible.
Yeah, I mean, with 2 strikers, he's got 2 players who are more naturally goal scorers on the pitch. He's going to make you more likely to score goals. The wing back shouts will be interesting. I'd imagine Frimpong will play. Yep. Will Shane Duffy go straight in? You'd imagine so.
I think he will after captaining Ireland twice. You'd only imagine.
Yeah, he'll probably go in. I'll tell you what, Elhamed, or Herbert, I always get stick for saying that wrong, and Beaton both look really, really good for Israel. So
yeah, but I was saying in my video today, I think, if anything, it should be Duffy, Julian and Beaton starting this game.
I was just going to suggest that,
I think that's the 3 that should
Especially
start.
Especially if Ayer does want away, then don't play him.
Yeah, Ayer, look, he played well for Norway too. Solid ratings for him. And he seemed to be getting a lot of plaudits, but if he's not 100% committed at the moment, I don't see why we punish Beaton and such. Like, Ayer looks as though he's fine with staying or going. I don't know. No one can quite read the scenario. It's just not happening. So we'll wait and see. But look, as simple as this for Celtic, batter them. That's it.
On a Ross County front, Ross Stewart, 2 bids rejected for him this week from Rotherham. Rotherham have got a thing for Scottish players, haven't they? I don't know what.
They have.
Rotherham, Burton, and like Peterborough. They love.
When Alan Stubbs went into them.
Yeah, that's right.
After the Scottish Cup.
Did he take any Hibs players with him? I can't remember.
I don't think he did. Nah.
But like, there's been a few over the years.
I'm
glad to see Ross County standing their ground though, because he's a massive player for them.
Yeah,
they can't be letting him go to.
Big
That's what I meant to talk about. Transfer news. I tweeted about it yesterday. Ollie Watkins. What's that all about, man? £30 million.
That's a lot of money, isn't it?
What's Hudson Edouard worth, man? What is he worth?
I don't know. You tell me.
If a Scottish say Ali McCoy on Talksport went on Talksport and said Hudson Edouard and Alfredo Morelos are worth 40 million, he would get laughed at by the English.
Yep.
I'm sorry, what?
Yeah, Watkins is worth £30 million for playing in
An
the
English
second
championship
tier
player.
for a team that never even got promoted.
Mad. It's just so ridiculous.
Edouard is actually scoring goals in European competition. He's scoring goals in a Euros under nationals team, whatever they're called.
Mate, Alfredo Morelos last year was an absolute machine in Europe. Unbelievable.
Top scorer.
You watched that game against Feyenoord last year for Rangers. He was unreal. Do
you know what, David? Do you know what? £50 million players.
The both of them. £50 million. Imagine Alfredo Morelos is 45, Edwards 50. Because imagine if you had good discipline, £50 million player.
Aye.
But, it's ridiculous. It is a joke.
It's madness. But that's it. Celtic Ross County covered. Yeah. Anything else you'd like to add?
On Celtic Ross County? No, not really.
Nice. You got any plans for the weekend, big man?
A few pints on Saturday, I think. Looking forward to it.
You were meant to plug the live stream, you clown.
Sorry. We're live again this weekend. 2:30 as per usual. I won't be in a rush to get off. Well,
I'll be as usual, hungover.
You will be hungover watching Celtic Ross County. The first time I ever watched a Celtic game with you live.
I know.
Apart from the Dunfermline Celtic game, but we weren't in each other's company.
No, we weren't watching it together, David. I didn't even.
We're in the same place.
I didn't even know you at the point. I was sitting at the other end of the stand.
So you'll be watching Ross County Celtic. I'll be watching Rangers Dundee United.
It'll be interesting. People have always asked me to do live Celtic watch-alongs. This will be the first I've ever done.
You'll need to do a wee video on Ryan when we need to send them over our way.
Exactly.
Let them know.
That's right. Yep. That's it.
Yeah, so looking forward to it. I'm glad to be watching some football again. The English stuff's back, but not interested really. I was saying over the international break how much I think I just hate football now, apart from Scottish stuff. I think I'm falling out of love with the game. See, you're more of a broad football fan than me. I've got no interest in the Champions League final. I wasn't really that fussed at all. I just don't care.
See, I don't. I hear exactly what you're saying. I talk about it all the time to my pals, and I've got a pal, Callum, who he just loves football. He's a big fan of the big money moves and all the rest of it. I hate it. I think the game has been drained of all personality. I don't like it at all. I miss the days where you had Roy Keane and Alec Ferguson smacking Diego Forlan with a football boot. I miss the days like that. You don't get that in England now. You don't get that over the world now. Apart from up here where they've kept the personality around the game. And I get judged. I say to Callum all the time, I go, I'd rather watch, Scottish League One on Saturday than Chelsea and Tottenham, and play you're off your nut. I would.
Hey, see if Chelsea Tottenham on Sunday, right? See if it was opening weekend of the Championship and Hearts were playing Dundee. There's only one game I'm watching, and it's at Tynecastle. I'm telling you.
And people might say we're daft for it, but you know what? Go back and watch the Tam Cowan podcast. He puts it beautifully.
He does put it beautifully. Anyway, on to the Twitter questions because there's some crackers this week.
Best part.
Let's start off with this is a really good one. It's a bit of a long-winded one.
Do you know what? Hold on, before you go any further. Do you know what would be cracking? Like, see if we actually make it big one day and we have our studio and all the rest of it, right? Well, when we make it big. When we make it big, we've got our studio and all the rest of it, right? Doing a phone in. That'd be brilliant.
Do you know what, sorry?
A phone in.
No, that'd be awful.
How would it be awful? It'd be brilliant.
It's just all rockets that phone in, man.
Aye, but it'd be... Oh, okay, I could laugh. Right.
I'm just trying
to fill the prophecy I've been the next two Keevans.
Right, Aidan Corbett asks, this is a really good question, a bit long-winded though. What's our ideal preferred 12-team league in terms of like having the best teams, biggest clubs, infrastructure, stadia, facilities, all the rest of fan base history. Your ideal 12 teams. If you had to hand pick the SPL, the top teams, what would the 12 be?
The current league, swapping out Livingston, Hamilton, swapping out those two straight away for Hearts and Dunfermline, put them in the top flight, give Kilmarnock a grass park and keep them in the top flight, and I think that's about it. Partick Thistle perhaps maybe over Ross County.
So so just run it through then. So you're going what are you going? Celtic, Rangers, Aberdeen, Hibs, Hearts, Dundee United, Kelly, Dunfermline, Hearts, St Johnstone, Ross County. And
I took out Ross County, I know.
Yeah. Right, you run me through your own top 12 then, you Clive.
Right, okay. For me, right, call me, Betty. Right, so for me, it would go as follows. It would go Celtic, Rangers, Hibs, Hearts.
Some controversial choices there.
Aberdeen, Dundee United, St Mirren. Then I would have Motherwell, that's 8. Okay. Then I would have Dunfermline for 9. Then I would have St Johnstone in for 10. Oh goodness, I've got to think about this. Too many teams. Partick Thistle in for 11.
Yeah.
And it's a tough one. I mean, Partick Thistle's even quite. It's not exactly an amazing shout, but after that, I'd probably, probably bring Dundee back in, another derby.
Okay, I like it.
That's mine. That's my.
Right, so I'm going Celtic, Rangers, Hibs, Hearts, Aberdeen, Dundee United, Dundee,
right,
Motherwell, Kelly, Dunfermline.
I thought you were going to leave it Dunfermline there. I was like, Jesus.
Dunfermline. After that it gets tough. See, I'm not aboard this Partick Thistle are a big club nonsense. I don't get it.
I wouldn't say they're a big club, but they're top 12 for me, I would say.
Aye, not so sure. Who else have we got in the Championship then? I'm leaving Inverness and Ross County out because I'm not a fan.
You're leaving them.
Have I said Dundee?
Yes.
Right, so I've got 2 left. It really pains me to do it, but I kind of want to put Falkirk in there.
I was thinking Falkirk.
So I'm putting Falkirk in there, and then my number 12 are St Mirren. So Celtic, Rangers, Hibs, Hearts, Aberdeen, Dundee United, Motherwell, Kelly, Dunfermline, Falkirk, St Mirren, and who was the last one? 12 was...
Next question.
Next question. You've heard it all, you can count them up.
We've got some memory, yeah.
Yeah, fantastic. A question you liked. Again, put a good question in, you liked it. Right. If there weren't, this is non-football related, but I like it. I like the concept. If there were 2 guys on the moon, let's say it was me and you, right, and they had no fuel, to get back to Earth, and they were going to die no matter what happened, but then one of them murdered the other with a rock, would that be fucked up or not? Because they're already dead. They're going to die anyway.
It would be me first of all battering you here.
Right. So my when I read this question, my thought process was I'm just imagining like a gulag on the moon, so you're running around throwing stones at people. Like that was the thought I had. So we're me and you on the moon, we're going to die anyway. Let's just do it in fashion. A wee gulag, a few rocks. Let's have it.
And we're going to make
an experienced Call of Duty player, so I'd destroy you.
And we're going to make a video before we inevitably pass.
We'll do well to take our recording equipment up there. Recording equipment, it's a laptop and a webcam, Christ.
Email
is that fucked up? I don't think it's fucked up. Let's go out with a bit of style, no?
I would, as long as I get to, if I'm bleeding out or whatever, I'd like you to play my favourite song before I pass.
What's that?
5, 6, 7, 8 by Steps.
What tune?
My favourite song is actually "Don't Let the Sun Go Down on Me" by Elton John, George Michael.
Yeah, that's very.
As long as you're playing that, ironically, dying in space with the sun going down on me, quite poetic,
Interesting. Right, what's this guy called?
What's his name?
Eastside Underdash Celt asks the most disappointing player so far this season. I think it's a really good question. I
could say Scott Brown after what I touted him to be.
Wow. In terms of context, it would make sense.
In terms of context. Disappointing player this season.
So there's 2 ways to look at it. You can have disappointing in terms of something that's maybe someone who's just been rubbish.
Because
or
for
someone
me, it sounds harsh, but I'm going for Shankland.
I was just going to say, Lawrence Shankland's the one that comes to mind for me.
I think Shankland for myself.
I mean, he's been injured, so it's kind of tough.
But obviously we were all excited to see him come up to the top flight.
So there's that way of looking at it, or someone who's played and been hopeless.
To this point, as we currently speak on the 10th of September 2020, is Shankland. That might change after this weekend. He might go and score the win at Ibrox.
Yeah, but I don't think you can say he's been disappointing because he's not played, and it's not his fault he's not played. I think if you look at it the other way, you look at somebody who has played and been disappointing. I'm going to say, someone from Motherwell, maybe. I don't know, they've conceded quite a few goals. Maybe Declan Gallagher, maybe. I mean, for Scotland International.
He's a shout.
I don't know. A Motherwell player would probably have to be a shout.
I think I'd have to stick with Scott Brown.
Yeah, but then I would also say in terms of Premiership, disappointing so far. I don't think El Yunusi's done enough. Forest's another one.
Forest's another one. Yep, that's right.
There isn't any Rangers players that come to mind. They've started well. Hibs have started well. Aberdeen well. So yeah, I mean, Shankland, circumstances have dictated that, and then a few of the Celtic boys, a couple of Motherwell boys. Yeah, it's a good question. If
good question. Good question.
Better answer. What else have we got here? Oh yeah, who do we reckon's coming third? Now we did our season predictions.
At the start, I said Hibs.
Are you sticking with Hibs?
I am. As much as I think Aberdeen are looking good and they could push, I think over the course of 48, bloody hell, that'd be a lot. In the case, 46, I think, in English Championship rate enough. In the course of 38 games, for me, I think Hibs will stand on top. Even though they've struggled with consistency over the last few years, I think Jack Ross is here to change that. And Aberdeen right now, the signs for me are showing they're going to be nicking games, and will they do that every week?
So I said Hibs, and I'm changing my mind. I'm going Aberdeen.
Aberdeen.
Because you're saying Aberdeen are scraping through, nicking through games. I think that they're showing a lot.
No, obviously, well, do I stick to it? There's nothing through games,
I think they're starting to show a bit of a side that we haven't seen in the McInnes' Aberdeen recently. They've got some flair players in there. Hedges has done really well. He's playing Hedges and Scott Wright, who are two flair players that like to create. It's not a McInnes thing to do. He likes his wingers to be hard-working grafters who'll do the dirty side. These guys are not naturally doing that. They're creating. They look like a threat. I think some of the younger players are just getting better and better. Marley Watkins seems to have solved the striker issue. The boy Edmondson that was injured, the one they got from Leeds, news today that he's supposed to be out for 4 months. He's only going to be out for a month. So, there are striking options now. Defensively, we know they're solid. McKenna, Ash Taylor, big Quaver toes at the back as well. He can boogie. So, yeah, listen, Aberdeen are looking really good. So, I fancy Aberdeen.
Fair enough. Next question.
Do I even have another question?
You don't have another. So that's
you got any questions? You normally have questions for me, no? We'll leave that for the
What do you want for Christmas?
For Christmas? I don't know. Just to be back at East End, that'd be good.
Oh,
Santa can deliver that. That would make me happy.
Oh, you're so humble.
I don't know if it's humble. It's just
look
sad.
Look at your big cute face.
Shut up. Right, do you think David Turnbull starts for Celtic this weekend?
Nah.
Okay, cool.
I don't think he does. Simple as that. I think he'll come on. I think we'll see him. Don't think he'll start. It's got to be Brown, McGregor and Champ. That's got to be the three that start the game.
What else?
So
should be in Champ, McGregor and Turnbull for me.
I want it to be Turnbull, but it won't be. It'll be Brown.
And
let's be honest.
That's that.
That's it.
Have we addressed on this channel what's happened to Scotland FM series? Because you addressed it on your stream, but I don't think you've...
I'm sure. Oh well, we put it on by the streams. Why they watch the Saturday streams.
Was it not on your? No, it was on your FM stream. You talked about it.
And then I brought it up on the.
Right, well, bring it up here. Bring it up again.
Right. So basically, what we done was we played the next episode.
We put the blame on me already.
We done the next episode. We sat and recorded it. Brilliant. It was a brilliant episode. It was unbelievable. It was probably the best one yet.
So that man, it was unreal.
So I sat down and I edited it and I got it done. Finished, rendered, the whole thing. And we said, right, we'll upload it on Friday. For some reason, I could have just uploaded it and scheduled it for Friday, but I didn't do that. I left it on the computer. Then I decided that night, I'm going to clear my computer. I cleared it. And I cleared all the files that was put into the video. You all right there, David?
Oh, yeah.
So it's just gone forever. And now the save has been saved past that date of the game, so we can't even replay the game. So aye, we're
It's a tough one, isn't it?
It's a tough one. So
I mean, who's to say we even have another game to play? We might have got knocked out the Euros.
We'll bring it back with a dramatic wee bit of storytelling as the intro.
Okay, that sounds good.
So you can play at an angry Dallas.
I can't even remember what happens.
You can't remember what happens.
I'll have to go back and have a look. But yeah, that's that. Ryan ruined it, basically. So stop asking me on Twitter, please.
That was nice of you.
Ed Nels, I don't know what else to talk about.
I think that's it. We've got a big
Callum Patterson. I mean, did you see Callum Patterson come on Monday night?
No, I didn't bugger it.
Right, I'm in no position to talk about anybody's physical specimens, But he looks a bit heavy, that boy. Like he was carrying a bit, which he was. Yeah, just nothing I noticed. Obviously, Rich come from me, but yeah, I was yeah. And he's also what position is Callum Patterson? Is he a right back? Is he a striker? Is he a... let's just end this now. I know it's Callum Patterson. Everyone talks about Alfredo Morelos. Callum Patterson.
What ended the podcast with your body shaming?
That's what. How come it's okay for us to do it with Alfredo Morelos? As soon as Callum Patterson's body shaming. Nonsense. We're going to sit here and go, Morelos has put the beep on. Nobody says anything. Justice for Alfredo.
It's just too bad. I expected you to say something. Oh God! I expected you to. Goodbye, ladies and gentlemen.